Ring Fanatics Podcast, episode number 24. I'm Nick, as always, and with me, as always, my co-host, Joel. Before I get into the episode, I just want to say subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, 10 subscribers away from reaching 100. So if you're listening to this, watching this on YouTube, and not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so we can get to 100 as soon as possible. Follow us on Spotify as well, on Anchor, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere that we can be found. Go ahead and follow us there. Also, shout out to Jonah from Rewind, Recap, Relive for joining us in last week's episode when we talked about Elimination Chamber. We had a great time, great conversation. It was a great episode all around. So thank you, Jonah, again for coming on last week. Today, this episode, I wanted to talk about developmental in terms of NXT, NXT UK, and even AEW Dark. People don't think that's a developmental thing, but apparently now, which we'll get into later on in the episode, they're coming up with something else for AEW Dark, which I'm excited for. About, and I'm looking forward to in the future. NXT, no, now it's been their developmental thing for quite some time. People can say it's not really developmental anymore. You can say whatever you want about that. It's developmental or not. Do you think, at what point do you feel like they'll end up realizing like, oh, this is no longer a developmental system, and eventually change that into their new thing?
I think they're starting to realize now that like people don't want to leave, and they see that people just want to be NXT superstars, which I think it's fine. I think they need to shift away from the thinking of it as a developmental, and they need to treat it as a brand. Like I know they're trying to treat it as a brand with when they moved to Wednesdays live, I guess, but they still treat it like developmental. Like I guess you're giving it the treatment as a separate brand, but still treating it as developmental.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to like shut up. Like it's NXT UK is still on the network, kind of like their own, pre-recorded routine
I look at them as a brand.
Yeah.
Like nobody really gets called up from NXT UK. They're their own brand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you've never, like, of course we've gotten like the UK guys come up to the main roster for a couple matches, or they'll go to NXT like Pete Dunne, Tyler Babe, like they did the Mustache Mountain thing for a while. But
I remember that.
I feel like they're treating NXT UK as their own brand, and they need to start doing that with NXT.
Yeah. I mean, it's I think we mentioned this once before. It may have been off camera or on camera. I don't remember, because we talk about a lot of shit the best. I feel like we talk about everything, but like it's to a point where it's like, oh, they should like keep it their own. Like it's the third brand, but it's not really like associated with Raw and SmackDown. Like they're still doing their own thing, NXT is still doing weekly shows. It's still doing takeovers. Same routine we've seen right now, but instead it's not really associated with Raw and SmackDown. Like they're not going anywhere. That's the thing though. Like people are saying like there's some superstars don't even want to go to Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, because they see what happens, bro.
Yeah,
they see what happens, and we could even talk about that. Like I think I brought it up when we did the Patreon episode that we get the expectations high. I want to say it was like one of those YouTube channels that gave like a list, and one of the lists of why WWE is failing is because of NXT, and I agree 100%. Once I listened to their reasoning, like they talked about give me the reasoning. I'll give you an example, right?
Okay.
Bobby Roode came in, right? He left Impact, signed with WWE, and they showed him at TakeOver. Everybody was excited. Oh man, was Bobby Roode's here finally? He debuts on NXT. I wouldn't say works his way up. I would say he kind of works his way up. Like he has a couple of matches, but he's kind of thrown into the title picture quickly, right? Yeah. And that's mostly with a lot of big names in
that's true.
That get signed. So he comes into NXT, gets into the title picture, wins the belt. Right, like not right away, but like quickly. Now, when he loses the belt, when he gets called up, we automatically have the expectation of the same thing is going to happen. Like he's going to be straight into the world title picture.
Yeah.
Which we all know is not true. And maybe they've done it. I'm trying to think if they've done it with anybody. I don't think anybody's really came in and like went into the title picture. But our expectation is since they were champions in NXT,
they're going to be champions.
How aren't they going to be a champion and be successful here? But also, they're bringing so many people up, and the NXT title is always changing every couple months, and people are getting called up. That not everybody's gonna be champion.
Exactly. I mean, it's like I feel like I said this in a past episode too. It's like you have these guys who just come in from NXT who, like you said, they were the champion. They were NXT champion because when you're NXT champion, people are gonna assume that you're a big thing now.
Yeah,
because you were NXT champion.
You are.
Yeah, I mean, you are
NXT.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like once you get to the main roster, it's like it's literally a completely different place. Even though it's WWE, obviously, but it's not NXT. It's a completely different setup. And people don't think. Yes, I know it's better than not really developmental anymore. It's better than Raw and SmackDown have.
Yeah,
but even though I wouldn't call it developmental anymore, it kind of still is. So you
definitely. But I want to know how I feel about it. I feel it's not the fans' fault.
Yeah.
That our expectations get high. Because you could have brought him in. You could have brought I'm just using Bobby Roode as an example because he's one of the big guys that I think should have been a big player in the main roster. And they just really dropped the ball on him. I think that a lot. I think with many of the NXT guys, I think they dropped the ball on.
Oh, yeah.
And that might be me because I'm getting my expectations high, but not even like a US title or IC title, like nothing. Not even like a big storyline.
Yeah.
But you got our expectations high. Not only did you sign the guy, right? You could have just did that. And then build him up. No, you threw him right into the title picture. Same thing when Samoa Joe debuted. Who did he debut on? Kevin Owens. Who was Kevin Owens? The champion. He was jumping right into the title picture.
They do the same thing even for Raw and SmackDown. Like once they throw him to the main roster, it's like, okay, now you're going to be in a championship picture, or you start off in the championship picture. For example,
not really.
I mean, not all of them.
And usually they're taking big L's if they're in the title picture.
Exactly. Like Keith Lee was a recent, not recent call-up, but recent one that's like that. He immediately got put into a feud with McIntyre and Sheamus, Drew McIntyre was the world champion at that time. So that's the kind of thing that people are kind of expecting. Like, he just lost the NXT championship. Now he's in the WWE championship and he didn't win it. It's like, is that buried or is it like, I don't know.
And I hate that too when people be like, "Oh,
buried.
This guy's buried." It's like, yo, relax. Like, he just started. Like, he's building his way up. When you start hearing stuff that's like, the writers are giving up on him. There's nothing for him. That's when you'd be like, it's time to work. Like when those reports came out that Vince is done with Nakamura and Andrade. Who knows how real that is? But still, now you look at it and you're like, oh man, like damn, that
really dropped the ball,
Andrade is another one. Is another one because now you're seeing all this stuff with Bad Bunny, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, we're trying to get the Latin audience.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
There you go.
You wanted to get the Latin audience with Bad Bunny. You could have did that with Andrade.
Exactly.
There was no he was your next Latin superstar. He was your next Eddie. He was your next Rey Mysterio. And y'all dropped the ball. Now you're worrying about the Latin audience because you don't have a lot of fans over there, I guess, or a lot of Latin people aren't watching it. But guess what? Not really giving them a reason to.
Yeah, you're not giving.
You know what I mean? It's like if you're looking to hit a fan base, wouldn't you want to give somebody from that fan base a shot to try and see if they could build up the fan base.
I feel they could have had that. I think they had that opportunity a couple of years ago, but they dropped the ball on it. Where they had Rey Mysterio and Andrade feud.
Yeah,
That was the perfect feud to be like, okay, too big a future Latin superstar versus a legend Latin superstar going at it at Mania, especially. That was the missed opportunity.
How did they miss? Like, how bad did they drop the ball for not doing a mask versus hair match? Like, that was what it was slated to be. That, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It should have been that match.
It should have.
And what was that? Mania 35?
Yeah, that was when Rey Mysterio went up against Samoa Joe.
Yeah, and got squashed. Yeah. Like, you rather do that than build up a guy that's coming up. You rather just give it to some guy that you know you're not gonna do nothing with after. Yeah. You're just gonna put him on a commentary table. You know what I mean? It's like stupid decisions like that they just, that I could see. Oh, it's the fans' fault for getting the expectations high, but then it's like, don't put them in those situations.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Don't do it. Okay, like Adam Cole went into NXT. Who did he debut against?
The champ.
Drew McIntyre. Beat up the champ. Now you're throwing him in the title picture. You know what we're gonna guess? You know what we want when he goes up to the main roster?
A championship match.
Exactly. We don't want him fighting Ricochet on main event. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's on both sides with getting our expectations high, but also them playing with our emotions and making you think this is gonna happen. And we're gonna stick with the same guys that we have. Even though we're calling so many people up, we're gonna stick with the same guys.
Like with in terms of like them being on the main roster already. Like, this is the thing. When for example, like when Aleister Black was still competing before he that didn't show up for a while. People were saying like, oh, he should have been champion already, blah blah blah. I get it. I understand. But at the same time, in terms of Raw and SmackDown, fans have to realize that there's also like 10 other guys that everyone's complaining about to be champion already. That they're like, oh, this guy should be champion, but this guy should be champion, but this guy should be champion. That's like kind of like getting way too out of hand, because like,
that's when it starts with the Barry talk. Oh, he's
Barry. Yeah, Barry, exactly. Because this has been happening for years in WWE, where like people have to wait their turn in terms of like, even in storyline terms, like people got to wait their turn in line to get their championship spot. Because if that wasn't the case, then you have basically almost either have two options between the championship matches. You either have each championship match be either in a fatal 4-way or a 6-pack challenge, where all the people you want to be champion are in the same match every single month in that 6-pack or fatal 4-way match. Would you want to see that match every single time? No
shot.
Even though that gives everybody the opportunity to, that's not what people want to see.
Yeah,
people want to see one-on-one matches, or maybe triple threat matches, fatal 4-ways once in a while, but mainly one-on-one where they can build up the storyline.
Yeah.
That's one thing that they do, but I know that's not the way fans want to see it. Or they would either give each person, each champion, a different opponent or different feud every other week, which also will be boring. Because if you want to see a bit, like I said, built up storyline to get to that point where, oh, this person's buying this person, why, how, where, whatever. That starts with something and ends with something somewhere. Instead of just booking someone new every other week. Where it's like, okay, wasn't that person fighting the other person last week? We don't know, because you book someone different every week.
Yeah.
That's not what I think. That's what people kind of expect to happen. Like, oh, but that person's been feuding with them for 2 months. Yeah, but that's been going on for years now. People get a 2-month feud, 2-3 month feud when the championship comes around, and people are saying that takes up a lot of time. But that's, you know what I mean? It's like it's been happening for a while, but when it comes to now, it's like, oh, give that person a shot. Just let this feud finish first.
My thing with WWE is that you're building up all these young guys, right? Not even young, just guys who are just coming in, because there's guys like Bobby Fish, who's pushing 40. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're building up all these guys in NXT. You call them up and they do nothing with them, right? You've
Yeah.
had so many guys.
Yeah.
So NXT's been around for what, 7, 8 years now,
Yeah.
right? As a developmental. And just look at the last pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
Look at the Elimination Chamber. Look at the Raw Elimination Chamber. How many guys from NXT were in that chamber that have
None.
been in NXT?
None. Drew McIntyre, but
Right?
really, yeah.
Yeah, but he was before
He was there before NXT. Yeah.
I feel, you want to hear this. This is, I don't know how true this is, but this is my thinking of it. I think he left on a deal with WWE. I think he left. They were like, yo, you know what? It's not working out right now. We're trying to do something with you. It's just not working. You leave, build up your name, and then come back.
Yeah.
And we'll start you and push you to the moon. And it worked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think a couple of guys they did it with and just didn't work out with certain guys, like Kurt Hawkins, who actually had a decent run in the indies. You know what I mean? He was doing his thing, but he wasn't all around the world. You know what I mean?
That is true. Yeah.
It just didn't work out that way for him. But I feel that Drew McIntyre had a deal because he was still doing Evolve shows. Evolve has always had ties with WWE.
Oh yeah.
You gotta tell me that wasn't a deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's my conspiracy theory for the episode. But yes, like I feel like all these years that you had guys come up, and not one of them was in that chamber.
Yeah.
And even let me think, the SmackDown one. Who was SmackDown?
Daniel
it was
Bryan,
Cesaro,
Uso, Owens, King Corbin, and Sami Zayn. Which
you had guys. Yeah. They had guys. And it shows you what show
it's a better one.
Gears towards trying to build people up.
Yeah.
Because Raw, you're always gonna get the same guys who are in. You know what I mean? Like, it's just Raw. It's just how it's always gonna be, unless you make a crazy impact. You're not gonna be a difference. And I would say AJ Styles, but AJ Styles is he went straight to the main roster.
Yeah,
which they kind of did him a good way. You know what I mean? They started him. They didn't put him right in the, like they did have him meet up with the champion his first night.
But it was a Rumble match, so it wasn't really like
it
was a championship match technically, but it wasn't because it was a Rumble.
Yeah. So they kind of built him up slowly. I mean, he debuted at the Rumble the night after Mania. He won #1 contender for the title. So they kind of try to do it slowly. I guess it was kind of the same way people do it in NXT. Is just looks different on NXT because NXT is an hour and you only see that person maybe every other week.
Yeah.
So it might take like 6 to 7 months. You saw AJ every week. So it took him 3-4 months.
Yeah.
But like I said, Raw had nobody from NXT. SmackDown had 3, right? It was Owens, Zayn, and Corbin.
Yeah.
Dope. And then even if you look at the guys that have left, the Shawn Spears, the Revival, who I think should have been one of the top tag teams for a while.
For sure.
Like they just have that old school, like gritty look that's just like, and their style that's like they should be champions. There's somebody that's like you need to give them the titles because there's people that come up and you're like, oh, that's dope, they finally got called up. You should maybe work him in somewhere that he could at least fight for the title. No, Revival needed to be champions. Like they were just that tag team.
Exactly.
Who else is left? People who should have left. Tyler Breeze. Like there's just
I mean, I can see I see that person.
Yeah, but Tyler Breeze, they just never gave a shot. Like they called him up and they were like,
they thought it was a cool feud to put him with Ziggler, and then after that, I was like, okay, now what?
Yeah. It's like, it was cool for the moment.
Yeah.
For that. Like
yeah.
I love Breeze. I think personally, I think maybe not be the champion, but in the storyline, like he's easy to hate with
Yeah,
that gimmick that he had. He
yeah.
was easy to hate.
And I get like with Breezango, with Fandango adding it. I think
Oh,
that
I
kind of
love that. I
yeah,
love that. I love them.
I'm glad they found that for him because I feel like them two had great similar characters and great
Yeah.
connection. And people before the crowd, before COVID hit, I mean the crowd was there. People loved them. Like people loved
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
and they thought like them two together. Both of them were great heels, and I think they were better off as baby faces than heels as together.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel like that was a great route to go for them. But like, yeah, we spoke about it once before how like with him, they brought him up and then it was like they had one feud with Ziggler, and then all of a sudden it's just like he's just been non-existent since for a
Yeah.
while. And it's like, okay, now what? Because when they won the NXT Tag Team Championships like last year, that was their first championships that either one, like both of them, have won. Like that explains it right there. They
Yeah.
both have been in the company for since literally the start of NXT.
And I don't know what happened with Fandango because it was like,
He
yo,
was
they're
gone. He
gonna.
was gone for a bit. He was out for like he wasn't around for a while, and then
Yeah, but like even when he debuted, it looked like they were like they were gonna put the rocket on him.
oh
Like
yeah, I know. He had a
he
WrestleMania
debuted
match.
at Mania versus Jericho.
Exactly. And didn't he win?
Like,
Didn't he win?
yeah,
He won.
with that stupid flying leg drop.
Kind of like that. Not gonna lie, that character was
It
awesome. They
was
had a
no,
run.
it was dope. It was
Yeah.
dope. And you would think like that was cool Mania.
Yeah.
People hated him. Then the song got over. That was the first song that got over in WWE that people were singing.
Yeah.
Like he should have been bigger than
What
what
he
he
is.
is.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy that was his first title.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know what I mean? Like how was it he at least US? You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
something. It's
Yeah.
just, and also I think that goes with WWE having just too many people.
Yeah, that's what I was
Just
thinking too. Like that's what I was saying before. Like how
yeah,
people say like there's so many people who deserve a title shot, but it's like not all of them get the title shot right away.
yeah. It's
That
just tough, man. They just, and I think that's on them. Like at a time, I want to say it was like right when NXT was starting to like boom, like right when they started like they signed Kevin Owens, signed
Balor.
Joe, signed Balor. Then they did that they got Shinsuke, and then from there they just started signing mad people, and I think that hurt them,
Yeah.
right?
'Cause they
Because
went they
at
kept on
time,
doing it. They kept on signing more and more and more. It's like okay, we get it.
yeah, and a lot of the people was just like they signed them for hype.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Roderick Strong, he was there for a good year before joining, like doing anything that was like important. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if you
Yeah.
really look at it, Roderick was signed just because of some hype around him. They didn't have nothing for him, and then he finally joined Undisputed Era. It was like awesome. Like he
Yeah.
fit right in.
Exactly.
But they just signed him because he had noise around his name.
Yeah.
And I think now they're doing the same thing, but like in a petty way. Like, don't go to that company, come to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't go to Impact or AEW, just come to us. Let's try to sign people so that they don't go over there. Even if they don't have nothing for these people.
Yeah.
Like, look at their roster. If you're a big name on the indies or even in Japan, and they're like, yo, come through, are you really like, most likely, yeah, but are you really gonna be like, yo, am I gonna do this? I mean, it's WWE. Who knows when your next shot is gonna be? So most people will say yes. But just looking at the roster, it's like iffy, man. You don't even know if you're gonna make it.
Yeah, the one thing like I mentioned AEW Dark before in the beginning, where one thing I'm actually like happened yesterday, with Paul White signing with AEW, formerly known as the Big Show, and what they included in that when they signed him is that they're actually creating what he's doing in the company is that he's actually going to be one of the things that he's doing is going to be commentating a new show, a new AEW Dark that's coming out. Don't know when, but it's going to be on Mondays at 7.
Yeah, I think
Kind of
they announced. I
showcase,
think
kind
they
of
announced it.
showcasing. They're going to be showcasing like independent stars that aren't big, and
Yeah,
that and some of their current signings that aren't well known yet in wrestling in general. So that's cool. That's giving people like, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say AEW Dark was originally developmental, I guess you could say, because that's what they're kind of doing lately. But now they have like a backup to the backup, which is kind of what NXT. I've been hearing things for NXT are doing like a NXT Evolve, kind of having like a developmental for the developmental. I guess they're using that one for like the NXT Evolve kind of thing for like, oh, let's create our own stars, let's do our thing there, and whenever they're ready to go to NXT, and then they work their way up kind of thing. And then yeah, they're both
Yeah.
doing is like, that's pretty cool. That it's the more talent of wrestling, instead of just sitting back waiting for your turn to happen. Everyone's wrestling, even though you're signed or not. So
Yeah,
it's great.
very true.
So it's like it's more wrestling, even though there's a lot of wrestling happening already. But it's like a lot, man. Like, it's now
Yeah.
Monday. I feel like
So I was,
eventually.
so I was gonna say they announced it last night, March 15th. It starts.
Oh
They
really? Oh,
announced it
I
like
didn't see that.
right at as the show was kicking off, like when Moxley was making his entrance. They announced it Mondays at 7, March 15th. It starts.
Oh, I didn't even see. I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of wrestling going on.
Yeah,
How do you feel about both of them getting a third show?
I think it's better. I think it's cool for both shows, because for AEW Dark, it's like, oh, now you get more exposure to indie wrestling.
Yeah,
Um, it's we get to see like who like can grow from that show to the regular AEW Dark, and then from there to the main AEW show on Dynamite on Wednesdays. So
yeah,
I think it's kind of like, oh, you got to go through that part first to get to the, like I said, to get the Dark, to get to Dynamite. Um, and then it's, like I said, it's more exposure. It's great to see that it gives us more exposure in terms of who out there is good. Don't I mean it lately? Dark has been going like 2-3 hours, whatever,
Dark
which
is
is that
actually
long.
dope as hell.
Yeah, and I like the
I like it.
concept too, because the thing is, like, the more we see from these indie guys that no one really knows about, it's like they can get from anywhere. They can get from some people in, I don't know, any country in the U.S., whatever.
Yeah,
Um, it's like it's even though, like, one thing I don't really like about that part, it's like, for AEW is they only got one show. They only have one Dynamite a week.
yeah,
So it's like, if you sign so many people, most of them are going to be competing on Dark. And like, they had people in the past where they built them up on Dark. They've been signed. They've had their time, but they go back down to being a Dark again.
yeah.
So it's like,
I
where do
like
you?
that though. I like that they're
Yeah,
trying to build up more people. I like that people get a following through
yeah.
Dark. As you see, what's his name? Nemeth
Ryan
built his
Nemeth,
name
yeah,
up.
Ziggler's
Yeah,
brother,
yeah.
Ziggler's brother,
Is it
yeah,
Nemeth? Nemeth?
Nemeth, I think,
Nemeth
yeah,
built his name up on Dark and then got a cult following. People were like, "Yo, I want to see this guy,"
yeah,
and then showed up. And also, they're not shooting him to the moon. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
he's
yeah,
taking losses here and there, but they're trying to
yeah,
build him up, and I like that.
exactly, yeah.
I like also that signing of Paul White yesterday came out of nowhere.
I sent
Came
it
out,
to you. I sent it
yeah.
to you, and I was like, "What?"
Came,
I thought it was like a meme. I was like, "Ah, someone's making fun
once
of
I
this."
saw it, I like
Yeah,
looked at my phone. I was like, I gotta send this to people. Like this
yeah,
is crazy.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden, right when I said that, I just saw like Instagram just we got a direct message. I was like, oh man, here it goes. It's starting
yeah,
off.
yeah.
And people, I got like mixed reactions out of it.
I
People were
wasn't.
like, oh, this is cool. Some people are like, yo, like they're getting all the rejects. I hate that also, by the way,
Yeah.
saying that AEW Impact signing all the rejects. Hate that so much. How you feel about that?
Okay, so I like it. It was cool.
Yeah,
Kind of shocking. I was like, wait, why? I thought Big Show was still in the contract with WWE or something. But then I was like, oh, he's gonna be doing commentary work with the new AEW Dark show. That's cool. That's different. I don't think he's ever done commentary, but that's cool. And then started hearing things like, oh, he might be doing like, he actually might be competing once in a while. That I was kind of iffy on, because lately in WWE when he was competing, I was like, I don't think he should be competing anymore. Don't like the way he's been fighting, but at the same time, I'm not mad at that, because um, in difference with Sting, it's like Sting, I'm still like not really hyped about him wrestling.
So that
But
bump, man.
yeah, that was crazy. Every time he's taking the bump lately, I'm like, he should not be in the ring. That's like, damn, he
I
hurt himself.
I like it. I like that he's taking bumps.
I mean, maybe I'm just like a curious person. I'm just,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
people are
like,
like really critical on it. Like I know a lot of legends were like talking shit about it. Like, wow, he hit him down hard and shit. But it's like Sting was probably like, yo, bro, don't hold back. Let's see how much I can take. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And then
I'm just looking out for his well being. I'm
no,
playing
yeah,
it there.
but that's how
Yeah.
he's probably looking at. That's how I think he's looking at
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Probably was
yeah.
like, yo, this is the first bump I've taken on TV. Like, because people are like, oh, he hasn't taken a bump in like so long.
Yeah.
You don't think he's been
Yeah,
training
exactly.
and stuff? Like, you don't think he's been hitting
Exactly.
the mat a couple times? This one was just like, yo, let's see how much I can take before I feel pain.
Yeah.
Like crazy amount of pain. And I think now that was like a test for him. So
Yeah.
I don't know why people were hating on it, but go on. I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, for Big Show, it's like I think he could actually do well because I think he's someone who he can actually help put over. You know, like he just go up against some
Yeah.
of the people not in title pictures, the non-champions. Like he can go against Lance Archer, he can go up against like Luchasaurus, the big guys, even the little guys.
And he's got knowledge for days to help people out.
Exactly.
Like
And
just giving people advice.
not only that, he also put on a great storyline. His promos are good, his storylines are good. And I kind of like that. As long as he's putting over guys instead of being put into big time matches, then I'm fine. Like go up against like the people who aren't really being used lately, like a Lance Archer. Put him against Lance Archer. Right now, I'm kind of big on Lance Archer, but not really because they haven't really been using him much. But
I love Lance Archer.
Yeah.
He's dope. I think he's gonna win that ladder match, by the way.
Yeah, me too. I was kind of betting on him too, but like someone like him is like, oh, okay, if he goes a good Big Show, that's gonna be big for Paul White now. If he goes up against Paul White, I'm sorry, I know, but my fault. But like, yeah, if he goes up against Paul White, it's like okay, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind someone else going against Paul White and having a feud with him, beating him or something.
Yeah,
because he, like I said, Paul White could put on a great storyline, great promos, great in-ring ability too, for someone his size. Yeah, so I think he could do that. As long as they do that with him, then I don't mind. I don't care.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be dope on commentary too. Like you said, he's good at promos, so he'll know how to. It'll be interesting because we've never seen him on commentary.
Oh yeah,
so it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Even though I think he'll be, I think he'll be good.
Yeah, I think
on it. No matter what, it's Paul White, man.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't. I don't mind him. I don't mind him going there. It was a shock at first. I was like, what? I didn't think he would ever leave WWE.
Yeah. But I thought he, like, my friend texted me. He was like, I thought he was a lifer. I was like, me too. Yeah. I thought that he was chilling, but like I was saying earlier, people were like, yo, it's I know the rejects and stuff. And it's like, bro, like, if you get fired from a job, are you not gonna look for a job ever again?
Yeah, really.
Like, how do you expect to make a living?
Exactly.
Like even when Impact signed Kurt Hawkins and everybody was like, well, Brian Myers, my bad, and everybody was like, oh, they just signed in all the rejects, and now Rich Swann is champion, and all the Tommy Dreamers did. The club is going over this. Like, bro, like, I'm supposed to retire? Like, WWE really a bust? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
exactly. It's supposed to go somewhere. Like, relax.
Yeah, they gotta work.
Exactly.
And that's what they do. They wrestle. Like,
yeah.
Oh, you know what? WWE fired me. I think this ain't for me. Like, come on. Is that really the mindset you're gonna have?
Exactly. I
don't understand people with that mindset, man.
Yeah.
Like, people, AEW and Impact get so much hate. Yeah. And also vice versa. Like, people, there'll be like WWE, like, diehard fans that won't watch AEW and Impact. And there'll be people that watch AEW Impact and won't be like not watching WWE. Too corporate. They're too this. They don't give people chances. It's like, bro, I'm just a wrestling fan. Yeah. And I like to give my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Like, I love to talk. I'll talk shit about every company. Like, I'll talk shit right now about WWE and how they don't use people. Talk shit about AEW and that whack ass promo they did with Sting and Darby Allin yesterday. Yeah. Like, he fucking came from the rafters, and I was like, that's kind of stupid. Like, it was like, maybe it would have been cool, like, if it was a arena filled with people and Russell just came down. But like,
Could have just walked down the stairs. You were you could have easily gone through the fucking
You you should have just came behind in the ring. Like that's what I was waiting for. I was like, oh, he's gonna be like on the top rope, ready to drop kick somebody. No, and then Sting, they got this old man, fucking this poor man dragging a body bag with somebody in it. Like once I was struggling, I would struggle. Like, why you making him do this? But yeah, I just talk shit about every company. Impact, I talk shit about Impact too. Wow, no crowd. That shit's crazy.
They're late to the party, man.
Have you seen them? Like no crowd. I feel like shit goes in slow motion.
That's what makes it boring for me, honestly. That's why I don't really watch it a lot because it's like,
well, that's why. That's like WWE at the beginning. It was like,
yeah,
bro,
I was
like
so annoying. I can't
I'm
watch
only
it
watching because it's building up to Mania. Like I can't watch this any longer.
Yeah,
but like Impact is like tough to watch. Not saying that the product's bad. It's just there's no reaction.
Exactly.
And I give it to the wrestlers for even going in there and like not even. I would tell management, be like, yo, can we get like people in here? Like at least put the wrestlers like AEW.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
I know, right?
Like get the camera crew, the makeup crew, something. I need somebody to give a reaction to.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's kind of weird. It's really strange, just that nobody there.
Yeah, really late to the party. That's Ring of Honor too. It's just like, whoa. Ring of Honor is kind of people sleep on Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor has been dope lately. Not gonna lie. Ring of Honor is lit. But yeah, wow. No, the no crowd thing is tough to watch sometimes. I think the best wrestling that has no crowd right now is I don't know if you watch MLW.
I haven't watched it recently because I know they relaunched, but I haven't seen it since.
Yeah, they got no crowd too, but they're more fast paced. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
They're not really like they are like on TV, but they're not on TV.
Where are they on?
So like they're on YouTube.
Oh, they're on YouTube.
But,
oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think they're on Fight TV too. But like, and they're probably like on channels, certain channels, like if in certain areas. But like, they're more fast paced. Like they're not more. All their storyline stuff happens backstage, so it's not like a lot of promos in front of an empty crowd. Yeah. I think that's what does it most. Like when Impact opens and they're cutting a promo, it's like you're just looking at the camera, homie.
It's like
you're just looking at the camera. It's tough. Yeah. The first time, I think the first episode that had no crowd for WWE was the one where Stone Cold came back, and it was just like, wow. Even him, he was like, I know he was struggling. And he had to talk to Byron. He tried to make it entertaining. It was just tough. Man.
I mean, I like that Byron thing. That was pretty funny, but like,
no, yeah, that was dope. He made it work. That's what I'm saying. He made it work. It's tough.
Yeah.
And he's only there for one night. He don't have to make it work every week.
Exactly.
It's tough to make it work every week.
I know. It is. And it's like when WWE's doing it, they have to talk to the Thunderdome. It's like you're talking to everyone at home.
Yeah. Thunderdome 2, I'm not a fan of.
They should be. I know, right?
It's just like, and the piped in crowd noise. Like, I know the wrestlers are like, oh, it's way better, but just. Put it on the TV. Keep it in the arena. Let me just hear commentary. You know what? Put up the noise all the way. Take off commentary, unless it's just Joe. Leave Joe there. Just let Joe give commentary.
Yeah, let him do something.
Are you a fan? Off topic. Are you a fan of Michael Cole?
I was. I mean, he's still good. He's still doing his thing.
I feel like he was better than. I feel like he's better now than when he was trying to have a character. Like
I like the character. I like the character because he made like. I didn't like when he was wrestling. I don't like that. But when he had a character, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, the WrestleMania match. That's crazy.
I know, right? And then you had I just like when people hated him. That's all I care about. He made it. People hate him.
Yeah, he made it work.
Yeah, he made it work. And yeah, I just like that. It was different. You know, it's not often you get a storyline with an announcer or commentator.
He was doing his thing, and then fucking the King had to fuck it all up and have a heart attack on TV, and he had to become babyface again.
Yeah,
but he did his thing. But I feel like after that, there was just a period that was just like, I don't know how much I can take on Michael Cole. Now I think I don't know if if I'm like okay with him now, if I'm just used to it. I'm just like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's. I don't know. I
uh,
feel like he's been doing his thing. He's been killing it ever since. I was like, it's Michael Cole. Of course, he's gonna go out there
yeah,
and do it. And
yeah.
it's like
Like right now, I'm trying to think like of a commentator that I'm like, wow, like he's really good.
one commentator that I have in mind that I feel like should do more with is Corey Graves.
Oh, I love
Um,
Corey. I
I've
love
always, I've
Corey.
always, I've always thought like they should have used him. They could, and they still could do this, but like I feel like they should end up using him more in like a manager role. Because I love
Yeah,
people like even though he hasn't really had much time in NXT because he retired, but if he could go on the mic and be someone's manager, he can get people to hate him for sure. He
yeah,
can do that. He's actually a great heel, and people don't realize that yet. Even like I know in terms of commentator role, I'm pretty sure he's being told what to say and
yeah.
do all that
He's still
stuff.
great on commentary though.
Yeah,
He's still
yeah, he's
great
still
on
great.
commentary. It was great when him and Renee used to just go back and forth.
Yeah, yeah,
And like they would both catch each other because there was times that Corey Graves would say something and you would hear silence because Renee didn't know how to answer it.
yeah,
And then she would catch him too, like just say something out the blue and he just didn't know how to answer it.
yeah,
But he, like you said, I think he would be dope in a manager role.
yeah,
Like they could have put him, who knows, like a Carmelo. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And he's somebody that if you give him the chance, he'll make somebody hate him
Exactly.
easily.
Yeah.
Easily. He
Um.
just got that talk to him.
Yeah, he does. So going back to the AEW Dark part, with
I know we got
how,
off topic.
yeah,
Way off
that was the way
topic.
to tell it.
Yeah.
What was I gonna ask? Oh, and there's been a lot of people there who kind of been, like they started off in AEW Dark, got their way to a contract with AEW.
Yeah.
Who has been someone that kind of got your attention? Like, oh, this guy's good, or this girl's good, or tag team that's good, that's really got your attention. Be like, they deserve that signing.
Varsity Blondes.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
nice. They're
Yeah.
dope. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a big fan of Brian Pillman Jr. They are dope. Like I didn't know the other guy. I still don't know his name, but I didn't know the other guy till I saw him on Dark. I said, they're actually like maybe just because they're together. I haven't like he's done single matches here and there, but he's dope in the ring. He's got a weird shape to him. But
he does, right? I know. I noticed that too. I'm like, he has a weird shape. But I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but he's dope in the ring. I think that's somebody that caught my eye on Dark. That I was like, this is dope. The I'm trying to think who else on Dark. Because I've been watching Dark here and there. I'll be real honest. I don't watch it every week.
Yeah, me too.
There's some people that watch that every week. I'd be like, sometimes it's too much.
It depends on who's on. It depends on what matches are on. And like, okay,
you gotta really sell me. You gotta really sell me on Dark.
Yeah, I think
that's also the same way with, I'll be honest, NXT lately. Yeah. You gotta really sell me. They caught me last week with the who was supposed to, Karrion Kross was supposed to fight.
They did it last night though. That was awesome.
Yeah. I caught the replay because they didn't hype it up for me and I forgot about it. But I tuned in last week. Nothing happened. Once they said, yo, this match isn't happening, I said, yeah,
Go.
Yeah, so they didn't hype up the Karrion Kross match for me and Escobar, so I didn't watch it. I caught the replay, but they hyped it up last week. And once this isn't happening because of injury, I said, yeah, we're switching back to AEW. Like, I'm not really right now. NXT isn't really selling enough to me to watch it live.
Yeah,
like there's still a good show. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm somebody who wants to watch an alternative and try it out. So I've been trying out AEW. I like AEW. They be doing. People be saying they be doing cheesy stuff. Love when people say that because I say, have you watched Raw lately? Have you watched SmackDown lately? In the last year?
Yeah.
Last 2 years? I was like, something happened last night. I was texting one of my boys. He hates AEW. Hates it. He was like, they really put that segment up with with Papa Buck.
Yeah.
when Jericho and MJF beat him up.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, bad acting. Like, oh, I was like,
He's
do you
not a.
remember last year on SmackDown when they had a dog food match?
Yeah.
Never got an answer to that test because he knows everything's experimental in wrestling. Everybody
Yeah.
tries things. Some things don't work out. Some things look cheesy. It's always
Yeah.
gonna be like that. Come on. You think Head was a good idea for Al Snow in the 90s? It just worked out that
Yeah.
they put it like it got over with people. It wasn't a smart thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
come out with a plastic head. Like, it just
Yeah.
worked. Some things work, some things don't.
Exactly.
But NXT hasn't really been selling on me to watch it live. I still watch it though.
Yeah.
And I still watch the takeovers because it's takeover. Come on, it's NXT. I
Yeah.
just
True.
haven't watched it live in maybe a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Because of that, they haven't really sold me
So
enough
yeah.
to make me want to watch it. Like they
Yeah.
had me for a while with the Pat McAfee
Yeah.
storyline, and then they took him off TV, and then they kind of like dropped it, and then they kind of brought it back with
Not
Pete
really.
Dunne, and it was
Yeah.
like I could catch the replay.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And also they put it on like it's NXT.
Exactly.
I can catch it. Like that's how I feel. I could catch a replay. There's also, I'm not gonna lie, there's some weeks I'm watching AEW. I'm like, I could have caught the replay of this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be biased and be like, oh, AEW. No, there's
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
weeks I watch, I'd be like, I could have watched the replay of this.
Exactly.
Raw
agree.
that I watch it and I say, this could have been an email. Like you could have just told me, hey, this person wins this match. And I was like, all right, fine. I didn't have
Yeah.
to watch this.
Exactly. That's what I feel sometimes too. I'm like, oh, I already know who's gonna win, but it's like that.
Yeah.
Really.
How do you feel about the third show though for both brands? Do you
I
think it's
think-
gonna be beneficial?
I
or
feel
do
like
you
it
think,
is, 'cause
you
for-
think so?
For NXT, I've said this once in a past episode where like I think they should have gone back to the having the developmental system be just like, oh, not televised, keep it low key, not low key, but like somewhere not a lot of people watch it. So when they see a superstar, it's like, okay, I don't know who that is, but it's only some people do, so you don't have a reaction. Instead of having like a popular independent guy come in, you have one of your Evolve guys debut. So it's like, okay, that's cool. It's different, you know, like you may see different people that people don't know of. I think that's where they're going to be the place where they're going to experiment new characters. They're going to experiment different things. So I feel like that's going to be a beneficial place for NXT, but for AEW Dark, also cool. It's like we get to see new talent every week, new independent wrestlers that a lot of people don't know about. So it gives them the chance to see, oh, this guy could benefit or this person could benefit our company. Like the way they're doing, they're getting a lot of popularity. Let's bring more Dynamite for a couple of weeks, do what they need to do. Then there you go. Kind of like with they've been kind of doing that with, like I said, with AEW Dark. I think that's why they kind of influenced them to do this for the second show. They've done a lot. Like there's a lot of people who started off on Dark. That kind of worked their way up over there. One of the team, like there's a tag team in AEW that I never didn't know about until Dark, and I'm like, damn, this is awesome. They're a great tag. They're my favorite tag team. One of my favorite tag teams in AEW right now. The Acclaimed.
Yeah,
I love them, man. They're awesome.
Yeah, I like that they were able to do. I like that Dark is able to do that. Introduce us to people.
Yeah.
The third show is gonna be kind of it's gonna be dope. It's gonna help introduce us to new people. Like I think more names that are known in the indie scene are gonna go straight to Dark, and more of those that we don't know are gonna go to the third show. What's the name of the third show?
Evolution, something like that. Something I don't know. Something like that.
We're gonna call it AEW 2.0. 2.0 is gonna be dope. It's gonna be people that we don't really know their names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People that are doing their thing on indies but haven't had those big matches.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll see Dark become that place that if somebody does come from the indies that has a big name already, that is already like being talked about, they'll go straight to Dark.
Yeah.
NXT Evolve, right? That's the name of it.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
They should just call it Evolve.
Exactly right. Me too.
I don't know why they did. I don't know why they like folded Evolve. I know they bought it.
Yeah.
They should have just kept that as
The name.
the developmental.
That's what I've been saying too. I've been thinking the
And
same thing.
just run your shows, have the guys practice out the performance center.
Yeah.
Do your Evolve shows. You don't have to put it on TV. You don't have to put it anywhere.
Exactly.
Now it's gonna be tough on the network. Because now we gotta put Thursday nights, probably, right?
I'm assuming so.
So now we got Raw, we got NXT. Actually, I would put it on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Because NXT UK is on Thursday.
Yeah, but that's UK time. It's not really US time.
Yeah, but still, it's still content on the network.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
you got
true.
Raw, you got Evolve. I think it's gonna be called NXT Evolve. I think that's what I saw. NXT UK, SmackDown, 205 Live. It's just they got a lot going on.
Yeah, they got a lot.
They got a lot going on. So I feel like the third brain for NXT could have stayed off the network.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was thinking too. Like only televised in like one state, like they did with FCW. Like only keep it in one state on televised, not where like the whole entire world sees it.
Yeah, like just don't like you said, just one place sees it, and then maybe go on a tour when everything opens, and then that's when everybody will get their first eyes on the new guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like if you think about all those house shows that NXT used to put on back in the day, like the main event was the big names, and then all the rest of the show was people being built up.
Yeah.
So you could do the same thing with Evolve.
Exactly.
But I think it's dope. We'll see how it goes with the second NXT. Hopefully it works out.
Yeah.
I feel hopefully it's just an hour. Hoping it's just an hour. Don't give me more than that. I think Dark 2.02 is gonna be an hour. Because I think it's gonna go right before Raw.
I hope, because I don't want that to be like a 2-hour thing. Like, okay, I get it. Like we're basically saying the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think it will be. Because Dark 2 happened like that. It started off like as an hour, and then it's pushed it to an hour and a half. Then it was like, okay, we're getting a lot of matches. I feel that's why they're also bringing a third show, because
they were doing it for so long.
They have like 20 matches on Dark, bro.
Exactly.
Like
it's so way too many matches.
Yeah, so I think this third show is to bring on just another place for matches to happen, because so much happens on Tuesday nights on Dark that they need to take some of that away, because they go on for like 2 hours, man, if you let them. And then some of the matches be cool, give some matches more time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this might be what it is about. And they'll put like a name you know with a name you don't know.
Yeah.
Just to like bring people in at first.
Yeah.
So I think they're both gonna be dope. I hope they're both successful. I just love I said it earlier, that's a lot of content.
Yeah.
But as a wrestling fan, I love it, because that's what I do. Like it's never too much wrestling.
Exactly.
Because right now, it's kind of prime time as a wrestling fan, if you think about it, because all brands, like even outside of WWE, are doing their thing. If you think about WWE, so they got 6 shows we just named, right?
Yeah.
You got AEW, the 2 Darks now coming up. You also got, outside of that, Impact. You got Ring of Honor, AEW. You got New Japan, All Japan. You got probably missing some, to be honest.
There's a lot.
Much wrestling that you could pick from.
Yeah.
There's shows in the UK. You know what I mean? Like there's stuff you could find of the indies online. Like there's just so much wrestling. This is really prime time, especially that all the talent isn't in one place. Everything's kind of like scattered.
Yeah.
So it's kind of dope. Like I don't think there was another time that there was so many like big names in different places. Maybe when TNA was in its prime, but also back then there was only WWE, TNA, and Ring of Honor like
Yeah,
in
now
the
there's
big time. But now there's so many people that come into play that's just like, whoa, you know what I mean?
There's so many other options now. It's like it's not
Yeah,
stick them in the same two places.
exactly. Like it's crazy now when you talk to somebody, they're like, yeah, I just watched WWE. And it's crazy because right now there's so much out there that's like,
Yeah,
give me at least one more show you watch. Like, come
exactly.
on.
Yeah, yeah.
But I can't
Gotta
even
be
blame
more.
them because some people just like that style. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? There's different styles of wrestling. Like some people who watch WWE might not like the style of,
that's what I was.
you know what I mean?
That's what I
Like
was
they
gonna
might
say
not.
too. Like people may like Impact, but not like AEW or WWE or Ring
Yeah,
of Honor. People may
yeah,
like AEW, but hate WWE and Impact. And
yeah.
I was gonna think about that the other day. Like this, there's just, and it's not a bad thing either. Like you don't have to
No, there's some
love
people that are
everything.
strictly New Japan, and they're like
Exactly.
all about New Japan, and it's like that's dope. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like I like when I meet people like that, and they're like, and they'll
it's
give
different.
me I don't know because like I
Yeah,
watched New Japan, but I couldn't tell you the champion in 2005. And you know what I mean? Like
is that
giving
yeah,
me
yeah,
all
yeah.
these hold up. Okay. I can try and follow along, but they know their shit. And that's because they're dedicated to that company. And
Exactly.
there's some people that are dedicated to AEW, dedicated to Impact, dedicated to WWE. So it's dope, but I love when you could talk to somebody that's like they watch a little bit of everything. They don't have to
Yeah.
watch everything, but they watch
Yeah,
a
yeah,
sprinkle here and there. Oh, I've seen a match of his. Oh, I've seen that.
yeah,
Okay, dope. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. So that's cool.
It's
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 a lot of these companies made that platform like, oh, if you don't know that guy, they
yeah,
debut in this company, now you know them. So it's like
yeah,
at least they
and
wrestled in a company before.
yeah, some guys now their goal isn't even WWE. Some
Yeah,
guys might just want to go to Japan and win the New
yeah,
Japan belt. Some people might just want to go to Japan and win the IWGP tag belts.
yeah,
Some people, their goal might be, I want to be Ring of Honor champion because I grew
yeah,
up watching Ring of Honor.
yeah.
All the guys I've looked up to have held that belt. That's the belt that even if I go just there, I'm fine with it.
Exactly.
And I think that's dope. Like I like that. Oh, even though I feel like a lot of people be like, oh, if your goal isn't WrestleMania with WWE, then I don't know what you're doing. Yo, it doesn't have to be.
Exactly.
Doesn't have to
And
be.
the thing about that kind of gets me like annoyed at times is like when people it doesn't matter. You can wrestlers can go anywhere. Like, it doesn't matter if you want to go to AEW first, you want to stay with AEW,
Yeah.
or stay with New Japan. But when people sign with WWE, they automatically be like, "Oh, this guy's gonna get buried," blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
Like
People always have that.
it's like this. Let them go to WWE. They want to go to
Why are they
WWE.
going there?
Yeah, like yeah.
Oh,
So, like the same thing with other companies. Like, why are they going there? Like, just let them go. They want to go there. Like, it's their
yeah.
decision.
Yeah, and it's to try it out. I still think that's why the club never got kicked out of Bullet Club because they
Yeah.
felt we'll see how this goes.
But are they
AJ was
still
full
not?
with it. AJ was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, I'm getting kicked out. Whatever. I'm going to WWE. We're
Yeah.
finally getting there." Plus, I think he saw at his age and was like,
I gotta do this now.
"I'm gonna
It's like,
sign a big deal, and this is probably the last place I'll be." You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
yeah.
But the club was like, "You know what? Let's see how this goes." And you
Yeah.
know what? It's okay with that. It's okay iffy about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why people sign short deals.
Exactly.
You'll never see a wrestler be like, "Oh, they signed this guy for a 10-year contract." It'd be like, "What?"
yeah.
Unless they've been with the company for a while
Yeah.
and they love it there, you're never gonna see that.
Yeah. That's true. That is true.
But yeah, man, I like that some people their goal isn't that. And if they end up there, that's great. They'll be like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, it was a kid I once met at a wrestling show and he wanted to start training. He was like, yo, my goal is just to win he wanted to go to New Japan. I was like, oh, that's dope. He was like, yeah, I want to be a tag champ. That's
cool.
it. That's my goal, tag champ. I was like, you know what? That's kind of like different. That's kind of dope. Like I've never met somebody that their goal is a tag champ. That's kind of lit.
Yeah.
And not even in like WWE, he's going to
New Japan.
and I'm gonna be a tag champ. He was like, even if I have to go all around Japan and then end up in New Japan, I'm going there. I was like,
that's crazy.
Bro, I love the dedication. Now he's wrestling. He's in a tag team. I'm like, yo, do your thing,
Do your
bro.
thing,
like,
bro. Yeah, exactly.
Don't
do
forget me when you in New Japan, man.
Don't forget us, man. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I guess we could. No, I got nothing else to say. But
Yeah, man, just
I guess
developmental. This is, we gotta remember it's developmental, and we gotta remember don't get our hopes high.
exactly. That's the
That's
main.
the
That's the
moral
message of
of
today.
this episode.
Yeah,
I
moral
know
of
we
this
hopped
episode.
around everywhere.
Yeah,
We kind of we stood in the lane of
yeah,
developmental and everything and building people up and stuff, but we got a little bit off
yeah. We
topic.
did. We did.
But
We
that's
stay
what
good.
this
We stay
show
good.
is, man.
Exactly.
That's what it
Exactly.
is. Like
Exactly. You're right, man.
we're always gonna be like, yo, we should talk about this week, and we'll always fucking
Yeah.
just go everywhere.
We never stay stern in one
Yeah,
episode. We always
man.
go off topic. But this one we
Always.
actually did pretty good. We did pretty good this
Yeah, we
episode. We
did
stayed
pretty
most.
good. Like we went
Yeah.
off a little
Little
bit,
bit. Yeah.
but stood on topic.
Exactly.
That's the
Exactly.
good thing. We stood on topic.
Exactly. So before I have this episode, if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify, what I want to do is guys comment down below on the YouTube video of this episode. Comment your which no, not your, but which independent wrestler you would love to see on this new AEW Dark show or this new NXT Evolve show whenever it happens. Name one wrestler who would you like to see a wrestle in either company. You can do one for each, doesn't matter, but go ahead and comment that independent wrestler down below if you have one. Once again, this is Nick, your host. Joel, my co-host. This has been episode number 24 of the Ring Fanatics Podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.
Catch you.